If you were given $100 million right now, but you have to spend it all Brewster's Million style, so like nothing smart.
Yes,
more helpful. No investing. You can't give it to charity. You can't invest in your nothing good and altruistic and human or anything, and nothing like you know what I mean. You get it.
Yeah.
In that scenario, what would you do with the money?
I feel like putting together a militia. Is that? I mean.
What's up, Airheads? It's time once again for Puttin on Airs. Special episode with a special guest this week. One of the fanciest guys I've met in the past few months, at least, I would say, Mr. the pride of Pennsylvania, Central Pennsylvania, specifically, Mr. Murf Meyer. What's up, Murf?
Hey, thank you, Trae, Corey. Thanks for having me. And yes, I am fancy as fuck. It's true.
Yes. Murf's a great, very funny comic and writer and everything. We met doing a comedy thing, me and Corey and him recently. You are from, remind me again, I know it's where in Pennsylvania?
Northeastern Pennsylvania, coal country.
Rust Belt, coal country type
That's right.
Shit, right?
Yep. Yeah. Post-industrial opioid wasteland, as I affectionately refer to it.
I can't believe we bonded so quickly. It was crazy.
Well, once I think we got all our cards on the table, I can believe it.
Yeah.
It makes sense in a lot of ways, but yes, the regional dirtbag powerhouses came together at this little retreat.
Yeah. Yeah, like a trash Voltron or whatever.
Yes.
So like growing up there, I'm assuming, well, I got a few different ways to approach it, but like, I bet there was things that passed for fancy probably then that really is not actually at all. Like I remember, one thing pops in my head is like my mom's generation of women getting like those like glamour shots.
Oh
like
God, yeah,
glamour shot. Like, do you remember that or whatever? And
oh
that
yes,
was like refined and elegant or whatnot.
Hold on just a second, Trae. Look at Murf right now. Now in your mind, take away his mustache and facial hair, and now give him like a big perm. And just pretend that's what his mom looks like, and it super hits for me. Like with that glamour shot, it's fucking amazing.
It's true. It's true. Switch the Misty 120 for a Marlboro Red, and we're right in business.
Yeah. So did y'all have shit like that?
My question is now. I remember the traveling. I think my aunts would partake in those for like generic. I wouldn't even say holiday. I don't even know that they were like relegated to certain times of the year. I think it was whenever we had the baby photos of the traveling. Cause did you have like a photographer who would knock on the door? We had a dude who would go door to door and try to do like set up portraits at home, not go into a studio, which I don't know where these ended up.
Yeah, I was about to say, imagine showing up, imagine an old man.
Bathtub, we're going to put it in naked. You know,
so
it's a barrel, it's rustic, it's cute.
Yes, he brought his props. He would set up the babies. He would take the photos. And what was really funny about it is he always had a beer bottle. So I remember me and my brother, I had Budweiser. My brother he's 4 years younger than me. He ended up with Rolling Rock. So we both had our like beer. So there was one portrait that was just a baby holding a beer, which was very in vogue at the time.
Right. And the idea was just, who isn't going to think this is hilarious and awesome in Northeast Pennsylvania?
Yes, especially since we're all drunks and these babies will all grow up to be drunk.
I'm picturing the guy from Family Guy lugging a huge camera and asking baby Murf to bite an apple in the tub or some shit like that. Yes. Yeah, they love, man, the women back in the day love those pictures. You can imagine an old man coming to your door right now and saying, hey, I'd like to take pictures of your family. That's a crazy, like the internet is insane, but honestly, thank God that it for the most part, got rid of like door-to-door salesmen, because that shit, fuck that.
Oh, that shit, yeah. That's an aggressive tactic, especially when it involves intimate photography.
Yeah. The baby pictures where I grew up also, they definitely have a twinge of tragedy to them as well, because like pretty much everybody had their baby pictures done in myself included, in little Oshkosh bagosh little kid overalls and stuff like that, because my hometown was an Oshkosh bagosh town. That there was an Oshkosh bagosh factory, in Salina
Oh,
that
hell
like
yeah.
propped up the entire economy there. So everybody, every parent had their baby have pictures made in the little, the little get up looking like a little train conductor.
A little conductor, yeah.
Oshkosh looking super cute and everything, right? And then in the 90s after NAFTA, Oshkosh just, strangled the life out of that entire town by leaving.
Took a long walk overseas.
Going out for a pack of cigarettes in Mexico and never coming back or whatever.
And so now that's the first picture you see at the funeral is the kid in the Oshkosh Bagosh overalls.
So now all these people in this like just economic wasteland, half of whom are addicted to pills and shit 10 years later, can't even look at baby pictures of their kid anymore because
without being reminded of
the fucking, the evil corporate fat cats that fucking ruined everything.
No, it is a haunting reminder. That is a very beautiful, dark specific.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's,
I mean, also Oshkosh, though. I mean, thank you for your service down there because you made some incredible overalls. I mean, those were quality overalls. They made their way up north. I mean, we had them. They were all over I feel like Oshkosh was a thing for a moment.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oshkosh, we didn't have the factory and all that sad story to go behind it, but I certainly had baby pictures in Oshkosh overalls. And Trae, this will hit for you. I don't know if I've ever told you, but I don't know if you know this. Murf, you only know me as a bald person. Trae really only knows me as a balding or bald person. I've been shot out the entire time Trae's known me. Matter of fact, I think Trae would agree with this. As an almost 40-year-old man, I look better right now than I did when Trae met me when I was 24, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
Got some Ben Buttons going on here.
Yeah, so I was already almost had all my hair lost at 24, but I didn't start growing hair until I was like 4. So I really only had like a 12-year run with it. And some of my like 2.5-year-old pictures, I guess they forgot my name when they were filing them away or whatever. And so they had me at the Olin Mills place listed in a manila folder as bald boy in overalls, which is what everyone in my family called me for years. Bald boy in overalls.
Bald boy in overalls there's a niche for that.
Comedy special name, actually.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Cordy Ryan Forrester, bald boy in overalls.
A comedy special or an OnlyFans account, one or the other.
That's right. Well, it's heading the latter way. I can tell you that much right now.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah, but so I mean, I don't know. Like, was there a general sort of distrust of fancy people there? Would you say?
Yes, I would say that the class dynamics are very fun because what I think people don't understand, who just kind of grew up in what used to be the middle class of, suburban America, whatever. I think in these Rust Belt pockets and places that are truly working class, I think even the dynamics within that, there's it's funny because the putting on airs thing, there's people in my family. So on my mom's side of the family specifically, who they put on airs for sure. Right. And it's this idea of like, oh yeah, we're not, it's like nobody here, no one in this room went to college. Like who hasn't been to jail? So we start there, and then they like to lord that over the rest of us who have.
Right.
And so it's like, there's levels to that, which are very funny to see. And I think, so I feel like growing up working class, but had both parents in the house. So I never liked to do the poverty Olympics thing where it's like, I had a lot of friends who were much, much poorer than I was. 2 parents, both working multiple jobs at a time where you could still do that. And like, buy a Nintendo game for your kid for their birthday kind of thing. So I think that's kind of where I grew up, but there were a lot of airs within that and what people thought was wealth. And I guess what I thought was wealth until I got outside of, Northeastern Pennsylvania, growing up without the internet or whatever. It's like lifestyles of the rich and famous. And then it's just fucking whatever, my one uncle who, got a disability claim because he slipped in some fucking, Target somewhere or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, oh, now he's got money.
Right. No, I've talked about that a ton, about how like, the realization I've called them these like white trash epiphanies I've had over the years or whatever, but like one of them realizing like that the rich kids in my school, like the kids that were considered like they got money. Looking back now, I realized that pretty much and this is all post Oshkosh leaving and everything falling apart. When I was in high school, just to be clear to everybody. Looking back now, really what that meant pretty much was that their parents were still married, and both of them had a job.
Yeah,
and that pretty much made you like a rich kid at Salina High School, like no bullshit. Like, that's how. But I didn't have a frame of reference. I used to have a whole bit about how I dated this sorority girl in college who I thought was like a rich girl. I was like, yeah, I felt like Leo at the bottom of the steps on the Titanic or whatever. It's like that's what I thought was happening. But her dad owned his own like auto body shop outside of Nashville, right? I thought it was fucking Daddy Warbucks or whatever. And like going over to their house and being like, why is all y'all's plates the same? That was the line for the bit. But the thing I really thought where I went over there and was like, all their like dishes and silverware like match. And then thinking, because I was 21 or whatever at the time, being like, wait, maybe they're supposed to. Are they supposed to match? And then,
why aren't y'all eating cereal out of a Cool Whip tub?
Right.
What the fuck is going on?
Exactly. And then thinking like, oh my God, and I've had so many moments like that because the frame of reference is just so skewed.
Yes.
Murf, if you don't mind me asking, and if you do, please say so, and we'll just edit this right out. But what was the, and I'm sure there was several, but what were the main reasons for your family's incarceration problems?
Well, so this is funny too. Some of them were, a lot of them are drug related.
Yeah, right.
Drug and alcohol, and everything that goes along with that. But there was one uncle who also thought he was kind of fancy because he was doing this like very low level insurance scams.
Hell yes.
So there was this white collar element to one of my uncles, and I'll leave the names out.
Yeah.
That's their story to tell. I mean, he's no longer with us, but
no way.
Yeah, but yeah, right. But yeah, just drank his liver to right to hell. But this insurance scam is like, it's funny because he was a good enough talker that he could get into rooms where they would, people would trust him with their, whatever. I don't even know exactly what kind of scam he was running, but he got nailed twice. He went away once, came back, just, loved that sweet life of just getting those, whatever insurance deposits and payments and stuff and shuffling things around. I mean, it's just business. This is the insurance industry, essentially.
I was about to say, it's really not that much different than what they all actually do. It's just that he's not in their little club, so it's illegal.
Yes, exactly.
I'm assuming he didn't have the, what do they call it?
Certification.
The capital or whatever that you need. He didn't have his... there's business words for all this. It's so funny because I have an MBA, but I don't know any of the business
No
words.
one would ever think that, by the way.
I know. Oh, well, yeah, right. And why should they? But he didn't have the capital to cover his fucking
his premiums or whatever the fuck.
It's not the premiums. The premiums are coming in the fucking the risk. If if a huge claim came in, he might not be able to. Or he wouldn't.
Wouldn't
be able to cover it. But until then,
yes,
everything's fine. He just gets to take the premiums or whatever. Yeah.
And again, this is the 90s, so you're going door to door. He's out there. His clients.
Ernie Madoff. How about that?
Yeah, Ernie. Yes, it is an Ernie Madoff. Yeah. No, the most pitiful of Ponzi schemes. A Ponzi scheme just held up by like 12 packs of Busch Light.
A Fonzie scheme. Hey!
The Fonzie scheme. Hey, he's knocking on doors, leather jacket and all. No, he was. So it's like that was like considered though. Oh shit, he's going to jail for like a crime. Where the rest of this shit was just, you're caught up on a Wednesday night and something. You know what I mean? A lot of DUIs, a lot of
tight spot.
Tight spot. Of course, that's it. Yes, you're in a tight spot. Whereas, that was really a crime has been committed here. Planned out, premeditated.
Right. What were they taking like were there actual rich people in your school or town, like by actual standards? You know what I mean? As opposed to what we were talking about, like for real.
Yeah, there are a few. There was some new money shit going on too, which is like, kind of a funny, always an interesting dynamic of families who just either. Like, I mean, I didn't really roll in those circles, I suppose, either. But I'm trying to think of, like, in my school, who the rich kids were considered. Kids who had cars.
Right. But I'm wondering what
not on blocks.
What the money came from is what I'm wondering. It's like, the
I think post-industrial
came up with putting French fries on sandwiches or whatever.
We don't have a lot of that Oshkosh. But the old coal money kind of went away. So there's a lot of, like, real estate shit. There were people who scooped up there's a lot of organized crime connections as well. The Buffalino family. I don't know if you've seen the the Irishman,
Russell Buffalino, baby.
Of course, Joe Pesci plays Russell, right?
Yeah.
So Russell lived across the street from one of my buddies.
Chicken Man, correct?
No shit.
Yeah.
He's the Chicken Man that Bruce Springsteen talked about blowing up his car. Yeah.
Yeah. Buffalino was, so he was running. So there's a lot of, and then there's just the trickle. So, you're in a spot where the industry is always like criminally adjacent in some way because, there's not a lot of money left to grab. And Buffalino kind of picked Northeastern PA because it's equal distance to Philly and New York and Jersey. So it's kind of in that tri-state bubble there. And he's just kind of a low key, he was like the opposite of who was a Gotti was like the big, New York flashy, whatever. Whereas Buffalino was like, no, I'm just going to wear like a house coat and putter around town and be like, doing my business, making
way
my
smarter,
money. Much smarter. But yeah, so there was a lot of mafia adjacent, a lot of construction families that got into building, no bid contracts and things from the state that are like that. So you'd see like one of my, actually probably the richest dude at my high school was owned a excavation. He's on the top of Bunker Hill. It's called, I'll just name drop John Berdaric Excavation. His grandfather had it, passed it to his dad. They just like would bust up old coal mines and build apartments and do, they just had the big rigs to get on the mountain and just, blast away as needed. But he had like they lived on a palace up on top of the mountain, which is kind of the way to do it. If you're going to have money, it's like, just be up on top of a mountain somewhere.
Stay as far away from the pitchforks as possible.
That's right. Keep the excavators and the rifles at the ready. Yes. But that was like kind of the money where it would be like, still wearing like his John Deere hat and stuff and rocking around. But if you saw his bank account, you'd be like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's that thing where it's like, they don't, when like working class cultural people get a shitload of money, it's not like Dukes.
Right.
No.
Dukes, yeah.
But like, it's a very different type of thing. I remember there was a dude in my neck of the wood, not my hometown, but my neck of the woods who like, the way he first made his big chunk of money was he was the first man to ever, when I was in business school, this dude was like 90 years old and he like came, so he's long dead now, but he was the first dude to ever bring condoms to that part of Tennessee.
Gee-wee.
Ooh.
In like the 30s or 40s or whatever. And he made a lot of, so he comes from old, condom money.
That rubber money. Yes.
Old rubber money. Yeah. But, and then though he took that condom money and he just, because I get this one of those things like you can just do that. Well, of course, someone just did that. He started a bank, first Tennessee bank, which I don't think was literally the first bank in Tennessee, but he just called it that, First Tennessee Bank, and then just was fucking absolutely loaded. But he's like it's a huge like farm estate thing. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
Fucking horses,
acreage.
Like old country money and stuff. And he's real folksy and shit. I had like a foghorn leghorny type of thing sort of going on, but not like anything you'd see on fucking Succession or anything.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a very different, it's like even amongst fancy people and rich people and shit, there's still all these different worlds, I guess, or whatever.
It's so funny you say that about banks because I'm not going to name who the person is, but I have a friend who was at one point, maybe still, I don't know, seriously considering buying a bank, like seriously considering it and could, and had mentioned it to me. And I'm fucking, again, about to be 40. And my genuine first response was like, you can do that? Like you can just own a bank? And then I was like, wait a minute. Of course, somebody has to, but like, I don't like how that world is just so completely foreign to me.
Yes. When you have the funds to consider buying everyone else's funds up.
Yeah.
You're in a spot. No, I think that's funny that people, we're seeing that a lot now with like people used to think these tech billionaires were like the cool billionaires or whatever. Not anymore, but there was a time in the ascension of that where it was like they're eccentric and they'll wear shorts to the boardroom or whatever the fuck, and it's so there's even within that, I feel like the old money still is just doesn't love this new tech money.
Well,
And
also,
I'm like, well, you two fight it out, and hopefully you all just fucking kill each other.
Yeah.
don't you think too? There's a little bit of it like back in the day, like when computers and the internet was a little bit new. We saw tech as like, man, this is going to change the world for the better. And these tech billionaires and stuff, like they're paving the pathway to a new highway of just, we're going to cure cancer and all this stuff. So like of course we liked those dudes more than the ones who were making money on oil and all that other shit. And then to find out, like, morally, not only are they the same, they might be fucking worse.
They might be worse. They have the means to be worse now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. I've talked about this before, but like, I don't remember if it was this show or not, but, yeah, for a while, most big like tech advancements, they really were like cool and seemingly good. I feel, at least like the front facing one. Like I had this thought when I was using my GPS the other day. You know what I mean? And I was like, dude, this is so insane. You know what I mean? Like the GPS, like we just take it for granted. It's like it's free. It's on everybody's phones. Also, phones. What the fuck? These phones, like all that shit. When that was happening, was like nuts and really did like improve people's lives. But we passed some kind of Rubicon or something where it's like now every new thing that comes out is like dystopian, and apocalyptic or whatever. And that really sucks.
Yes.
It's like, dude, when it was like an age of almost like wonder, it's like, oh, what's going to happen next and all this stuff in a good way. But now you're like, oh, fuck.
Now it's like autonomous drones all day.
Right.
And you're like, okay, well, this
AI
got real.
Taking your fucking jobs and flock cameras and fucking all this shit.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
I was listening to.
I remember MP3 players. That was cool. Like
it was great.
Like shit like that.
I was blown away by the MP3. I was like, you can have all of these.
Crazy.
That's the greatest thing. That, like, when that came out and my brain finally wrapped around, like, I don't have to keep putting discs in my Discman. Like, I was like, it was the greatest. And this was even before, like, streaming, when, like, you still would have to go download them. But I was like, but I can put them all on this plate. Like, it was fucking, dude, on what you just said, I was listening to an insanely old episode of the Ricky Gervais Show podcast, like from like 2009 or something. Right. And of course, we all know that Carl Pilkington is the resident dumbass or whatever. But hilariously, he said something that if you listen to it now, you're like, damn, Carl was onto something. This is like in 2009, and they were talking about technology, and Carl just goes, he basically said, like, yeah, I think we should just quit. And they were like, what are you talking about? He's like, I think we got, like, what else could there be? And he mentioned like MP3 players and GPS and stuff. He's like, I think we got it all. Like everything that we need, we got it now. He's like, we need to just stop. And of course, Ricky and Steven were giving him down the road about how much of a dumbass he was. But like looking at it, it's like, yeah, I mean, like Trae said, every new thing now is just like, God, how are they going to use that to bomb somebody in Somalia? You know, like, fuck.
Yep.
Where you at on Viennetta ice cream?
Well,
that comes
I'll tell
up
you
on
about,
the show a lot. You remember that?
I do remember Viennetta. I also very much remember Grey Poupon, because I remember at a family reunion, one of my cousins brought her new boyfriend at the time. And this is going back, I mean, Jesus Christ, this is when I was out of high school, but this is probably 20 years ago. But he brought his some Grey Poupon and some like hot, I don't know if he was gluten-free. I'm trying to remember back to this, but he had something with some buns that he brought his own buns, probably gluten-free.
What'd you call him for doing that?
Right. Fucking 20 years ago in Pennsylvania.
20 years ago.
The new boyfriend shows up with
gluten-free hot dog buns.
Yeah, right, dude, bro.
And a fucking
like, where's your ribbon at?
That's right.
Homo. Yeah, whatever.
We didn't even get we didn't even make it to the buns because the Grey Poupon came out.
Oh, right. Yes.
And the marketing, this stroke of genius that was, because I mean, obviously you remember the old commercials, the stretch limo pulling up. Yeah. Pardon me, do you have any?
Yes.
So this was white glove shit. Like, but my uncles legitimately, like, I had a point where I was like, yeah, let's bust some balls here. But then I was also like, one, I like Grey Poupon, so thanks for jumping on this grenade, young man. But then I was also like, do we really believe this is fancy mustard? Like, are we, because it reached a point where I think that I was like, those commercials were commercials. Like, you realize this shit is not, you can go to the store. It's at fucking ShopRite.
Yeah.
Like, it's on the shelf next to the
ShopRite?
French. Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, we had ShopRites. Not anymore, but there was a time.
Right? No, I don't think anybody has them anymore.
There was a time where you could go to ShopRite, you could get your hands on French's right next to Grey Poupon.
And you could not shop wrong. That was the deal at ShopRite,
could not.
which I loved.
Anything on that shelves is right. It's all right.
It's correct.
Yeah, that was like. So I just remember that being. It's very funny that the marketing worked, but in the wrong way, where they're like, I'm never going to buy that fancy shit. And if anybody brings that to my fucking family reunion, they're not going to hear the end of it. And I was like, well, that was a commercial after all.
Well,
it's
that's the perfect
$4.
example that it's come up on the show a million. Every time we have a guest, pretty much those two things usually come up, Grey Poupon and Viennetta, where it's like, that's exactly where, like, the idea of things that, you know, people who are not fancy think are fancy, and whether they are like, you know, scorn them or they're like, you know, try to dip their toes in that water, like with the glamour shots, they want to feel fancy.
Yes.
You know, it's like we're always looking for other examples of that. So I'd wonder, like, what about like trips? Like, people where you grew up, did they take family trips to a place that was like, now you looking back on it, you're like, God, what a fucking trash bag of a place that is. 'Cause like we have like Gatlinburg
Panama City
and Myrtle Beach, Panama City, Daytona City, all these places.
Atlantic City was, of course.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So down the shore would be like from Philly. A lot of that was the, you know, the Jersey Shore, right? Which included Atlantic City.
Dude, you never had a chance,
Ocean
bro.
City. Yeah, I mean, that boardwalk is a special place, though. I mean,
so Ocean City, Maryland, right?
One of my early tug jobs was on it. Yes.
I've never been there, but our buddy Donnie's from Maryland, and he talks about Ocean City and stuff. And how
Ocean City's, I mean, it's a nice, you know, it's nice. It's
see, you're doing it. It's pretty nice. You can get an airbrush T-shirt down there if you want. You know. Yeah. Two
Suns out, guns out. I mean,
shape behind and with a rainbow behind it. You know,
that's right. No, it was. I mean, it was a nice family, large, public, overcrowded beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they used to have a comedy zone there, and I did it, and I'm fairly certain that like within 2 hours of being in Ocean City, Maryland, I saw 2 pregnant women smoking.
Yes. Yeah, there were. No, they didn't get the writing on the packs down there. They're still just. There's no. They're all right with that. No, there was a lot of, I'm just trying to remember one thing I remember that wasn't a trip, but it made me think when we were talking about Grey Poupon. Do you remember, about Old Country Buffet, the OCB? Are you familiar with this place?
I don't know. I don't think we have those south of the Mason-Dixon line.
They might not have made it down.
I might have just heard it referencing a John Panette bit or something.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be, there's likely bits done about it. This was a place, I remember when this opened. So this would open in the same kind of complex as you'd have a Red Lobster, you'd have a fucking Friendlies or whatever the hell. And so Old Country Buffet, I just remember when it opened, when it came to northeastern Pennsylvania, everyone lost. There was a lot of hubbub about Old Country. So people were like, "Oh man, you could just go. You pay this one price, and it's a little pricey. It's a little expensive.
$11,
but you get it's all you can eat, and they have all the stations, and you can bring and kids, whatever half off kids on Tuesdays, whatever they had. So we would go up, and this was like an event. I remember this was like the once a month. You're like, all right, we're going out to eat, and I remember Old Country Buffet, and it was this was a spectacle of people. I mean, I remember when they did the bit, was it the Simpsons, did the Homer, like, the all you can eat thing or whatever. This was like, everyone was doing that. It wasn't even a bit. People were truly being there. I have been here for 4 hours now, and I'm back to my second round of desserts. I've had the prime rib. I've had the, people, I just remember that being a real spectacle and a family event. Birthdays, you'd go up there, you'd try to, who were getting a reservation to get that back table that has 15
that has
seats.
The sliding doors.
Yep. And we're perched, we are perched, and we are set up for the night. And it would be like a 4-hour affair where you would just gorge yourself. And the kids were all fucking zooted because there was it's just like run to the, get yourself a little bit of mashed potatoes.
And there's an ice cream.
Dessert.
The dessert, all you can, just the pump and dump, just all night
with the fudge. Oh my God!
And too much. I mean, too much of because what the fuck? It's like, so you'd pile it on, it'd be half melted by the time you got to your fucking seat. Then you'd be like, going back for seconds.
Your parents want you to, like, you got it, because the more you go back, the cheaper this meal has become in the math.
No, So it becomes a per mouthful,
Exactly.
like a calculation of how much can you get down the hatch. Yeah,
so I've looked it up. They own a subsidiary of Old Country Buffet, one of their other brands that was, it seems like it was basically the same thing. So like Hardee's and Carl's Jr., I think, was called Ryan's, Ryan's Buffet. We have one of those in Cookeville, Tennessee. So it's same thing. So
in the same boat.
And yes, I used to love that shit. Then they got a Golden Corral, and those two duked it out.
The Golden Corral.
While,
we didn't get much of those.
He was on the football team at Tennessee Tech University, and so he had to do work study shit in the athletic department. And they would give out at like football and basketball games, they do, seat number that they do like raffle. They raffle off things, and you get like a free buffet, a coupon for one free buffet at Golden Corral.
Yes.
And my buddy worked in the athletic department, so he just stole like a stack of those, and just brought them over to our apartment or whatever. So we was just going to Golden Corral like every night for like weeks, and all eating for free at the same time. And then the manager finally came out and like banned us from there because he was like, I don't know where you guys got these, but I know you're not supposed to have them. And you can't, and it's like you can't come back anymore. But I spent a lot of time.
There's something very special
about
the stolen like golden ticket to an all-you-can-eat situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, dude, man, there ain't nothing wrong with that shit, dude. I mean, I know that like COVID sort of made us all different and sort of changed us. Like, I know a lot of people who are like, after, I used to love buffets, but like after COVID, I kind of can't go back because it sort of just opened my eyes. I still fucks with them.
I love buffet, dude.
I still love them.
Dude,
and
buffet,
like,
yes.
and you know what? Like, there's tiers, obviously, like, those Brazilian steakhouses that have a buffet. I'm like, that ain't the same as a Golden Corral, but also no shade to Golden Corral. I'll still wreck a Golden Corral, dude. Fucking Shoney's, I'll still wreck a Shoney's. Shoney's, by the way, they don't sponsor this podcast. Maybe they should. A very underrated burger. Now, I'm speaking specifically of Scott Steiner's Shoney's in the greater Atlanta area, which I specifically went to because it's Scott Steiner Shoney's, and he has a whole room there with all his wrestling shit. But one of the best burgers I've ever had.
Big Papa Pump?
Big Papa Pump, baby.
Of course.
Yeah.
Muscles on top of muscles.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's right.
Big booty daddy.
Let's take our first of two quick breaks and come back with the one and only Murf Meyer right after this. What's up, y'all? Let's talk about Ridge. Y'all know Ridge. You know what they do? They make amazing power banks, wallets, luggage, premium, everyday gear. They've been a sponsor for a while. We appreciate them. They got the everyday essentials for the modern man. Not postmodern. That's not the futuristic man. It's wild looking stuff, but it's cool looking stuff. Like here's the famous Ridge wallet. Looks like something RoboCop would carry, which is, that of course is the utmost of compliments. This is a truly miraculous product here. The Ridge Power Bank, this thing, my wife can't go a day without it. I only have this because I took it out of her purse to do this ad read for y'all, because the moment it was shipped to me, I might add, with my name on the packaging, she commandeered it immediately for her purposes. To be fair, she is the one who, can't ever keep her phone charged, at least until she had the Ridge Power Bank. But this thing is top flight stuff. Keep your stuff charged, and it's got every different kind of doodad on it that you can need. So if you're rocking with a bunch of different kind of ports, they got you covered over at Ridge. That's why they make stuff that's practical, looks good, works well. Fundamentals, really, but a lot of people overlook the fundamentals these days. Now Ridge is back with their legendary sweepstakes for the 6-year run, and this time it's, you guessed it, bigger than ever. The sweepstakes runs from July 24th through September 8th. Guess who the spokesperson is this year? One of the coolest dudes of the past 30 years, I would say. One of the ultimate bros, Tony Hawk. Literally, who alive doesn't love Tony Hawk? Not nobody, that's who. You already know it's going to be insane with Tony on board. The Ridge sweepstakes this year, 2 lucky winners will get to choose between, all right, here are the options, a Lamborghini Huracan Starato. You can tell that is super fancy in his because of how hard it is for my trash ass to even pronounce. A Ford Hennessy Velociraptor, right? Whiskey, dinosaurs, trucks, all put together. You got to be pretty sweet. A souped up Ford Bronco. I'm a big Bronco. I was going to fan, really. I wanted to, it's an aspirational thing for me. Broncos hit very hard. Or if you're a real meat and potatoes type of person, $100,000 in cold, hard cash. I think I always think of myself as a pragmatic person. Practicality speaking, I think I'd have to go with the 100K, but beyond that, that Bronco sounded pretty sweet to me too. I've always wanted one of those. So, but hey, there's a sports car on the line too. There's only 1,500 Lamborghini Huracan Sturatos in existence, and Ridge is giving you the chance to own one of those. This Lambo is the world's first ever off-road supercar. It's got a naturally aspirated V10 and 610 horsepower. So imagine driving that thing around Des Moines or wherever you make your home. The Hennessy Velociraptor also has an insane 558 horsepower twin turbo. It's an American-made muscle car put into an all-terrain truck, and that custom-built Bronco is coated in scratch-resistant Kevlar armor, riding high on massive 37-inch off-road tires. The best part, you can enter for free, completely free, at ridge.com. So really, if you think about it, there's no reason for you not to enter. If you want to boost your chances, you can earn additional entries in the sweepstakes by picking up some Ridge gear while you're there, down there at the website there. So whether it's a power bank, wallet, luggage, or something else you've had your eye on, you can earn extra entries into this all-timer of a sweepstakes with your purchases at Ridge, which you should be shopping from anyway, because again, they just make solid stuff that makes your life hit that much harder. That's what they do. If you're ready to upgrade your wallet, and who knows, maybe your ride too, well, for a limited time only, what you need to do is head to ridge.com and use the code POA at checkout for 10% off your order and a chance to win Ridge's biggest sweepstakes ever. Lamborghini Huracan Sturato, a Hennessy Velociraptor, a souped-up Ford Bronco, or $100,000 in cash. The choice is yours. No purchase necessary whatsoever to enter, but every dollar you do spend gets you even more of them delectable digital raffle tickets, even more entries into the sweepstakes. So one more time, that's ridge.com, and use the promo code POA. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them your Airheads, tell them that POA sent you. Ridge.com, and use the promo code POA. Upgrade your stuff with Ridge.
Guys, what do women want and need? Well, I'll tell you what, if you figure that out, you tell your boy, but mostly it's, I'd say, what do you think, Trae? Stability, reliability. Well, here's the deal. You might not can do those in some areas of your life, but with your wiener, your ding-dong, your old pecker, you sure can. Be her rock with Blue Chew. They are sponsoring our podcast and sponsoring your bedroom with performance. That's right, baby. With Blue Chew, you are not just having sex anymore. You're putting on a show. Your wiener is just Rod Stewarting up in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer an organ. It's a star athlete. You're like a slugger in the 90s, baby. Juiced up and ready to knock that pussy out the park. Breaking records. All right. Time to make your bedroom noisy again. Why wouldn't you? It is great. Time to wake up them neighbors. And look, Blue Chew Gold, it's sex in a tablet, because it ain't just getting your dick hard. It's getting the dick of your brain and your heart hard too. They have combined 4 ingredients into one powerful solution. 2 ingredients to get you hard in your wiener, and 2 support the arousal and desire in the brain. It works fast and lasts. Guys, have a complete experience in the bedroom of Blue Chew Gold. There's a reason Blue Chew is the #1 brand for better sex. Experience it yourself at BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for our listeners right now. When you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the 3rd free. That is not a typo. Free with promo code POA. That's promo code POA. You will also receive an additional 10% off plus free overnight shipping on your first order. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast and the bedroom. And Trae,
get you a new dick.
Why wouldn't you?
And we're back, everybody. So, yes, we're going to do something. We try to do this every time we have guests, but we don't have guests that often. Because, we like to be a little discerning over here, Murf.
Yeah.
Like, we have high standards. But also, B, we've been turned down a lot of times.
But
I'm glad, it actually worked out in this instance. Our discerning taste and your lack of options coincided to make this.
It's the eclipse. It's the lunar eclipse or whatever's going on today. It all came together.
Oh, is that really going on? Nice.
I think so. I think there's some.
I'm gonna go stare at it. So
you must stare directly at it. Yes.
The thing is called the Fancy Five. It's 5 questions that Corey. I give credit to Corey. He devised these. We already kind of inadvertently went over the first one, which was like something you thought was fancy as a kid. Realized now it's not that big of a deal. We talked about a bunch of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to number 2. When you think of in terms of fancy, what actor or actress, past or present, comes to mind? I guess famous person who's like the fanciest to you.
You know what? For me, it's always kind of been because I feel like growing up, we were very much immersed in kind of the 70s American, cinema of like more gritty, more whatever. So I think back to like the movies that I would see, like White Christmas or these, you know what? Like, so Jimmy Stewart to me,
great
always,
answer.
It seemed like, oh, Mary, no.
Yeah.
He always seemed very fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, but
because he spoke, I think it was because he spoke like no one else in the world.
That is true. I feel like this is going back to the thing we were talking about to begin with, where it's like your frame of reference or your standard or whatever is different when you come from a trash barrel background or whatever.
Sure.
Because I say this because obviously I love Jimmy Stewart, but my understanding of Jimmy Stewart has always been that he was the everyman guy.
For sure. He's not that.
No, he was.
Yeah. Well,
but he
stayed in the
army.
He
held down a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was also like,
there's something about the transatlantic. I don't know what exactly it was, but there was something where you're right. He played.
It is.
I think Murf is right. Mid-Atlantic is the actual region of that country.
Oh, okay. My bad.
There.
Yeah, I think.
Damn, I've been wrong for years.
Yeah, it's kind of the generic. Like it used to be the most. It was used for a lot of like regional broadcasters and stuff. Like people would be like, "You want to speak a certain way."
Both, apparently.
Okay, right
both.
on.
It is called both. Now I'm mad at Donnie, our buddy Donnie I mentioned earlier. I called it the Mid-Atlantic accent not that long ago, and he was like, "No, it's transit," because he's from the Mid-Atlantic.
I've definitely heard both. I've just always said Mid-Atlantic because I don't like the word trans.
Like that's like where I'm. He was like, "No, the accent is called it anyway."
Yeah,
you can do it.
Fuck Donnie.
Yes, it's like Katharine Hepburn, right? And fucking
yes. It's this way of speaking that's very stilted, but sounds very fancy, and you must listen.
Which we know now that they conscientiously like devised it because they were like American accents sound all fucking dumb and shit. British accents sound fucking, proper. And
also it was a way, it was sort of like the Latin of accents where it's like this way everyone will just sound the same. You know what I mean? I get like in my mind.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of like a baseline for a root of like every other. So I know this was also a time in Hollywood where not two people talking to each other was never really believable. Like the scenes were always just the most over the top. Like it wasn't really about the kind of, method or just even just real interaction. I mean, this is not true across the board, but a lot of great old movies you watch now. And
it's like a stage play that they're filming.
Credited with changing that. Marlon Brando's the guy who brought
Marlon Brando
naturalism into the world of acting or whatever they say.
Yes, he brought like robes that he could hide overweight in the shadows and not know his lines. He brought all of that.
Well, that was all later. It is funny and very Hollywood that like the guy that's credited with bringing sort of naturalistic authenticity to the screen became one of the biggest like
caricatures,
surreal maniacs of all time.
No, that's kind of true. Yeah,
like it's like you would think he was real like meat and potatoes everyday kind of guy because he was like, this is what acting should be. You should be like a real human person, but he was less like a real human person.
He was a cosmic presence.
Lived.
He became a cosmic presence that would float above the production. Yeah. No, it was.
I heard a story the other day when they were trying, at the Island of Dr. Moreau, infamous shit show. I've seen. If y'all haven't seen the documentary, it's called like Dark Souls or something. It's got a weird name, but it's about the making of the Island of Dr. Moreau. And like when the guy was going to direct that movie, went to Marlon Brando's house to try to convince him to do it. Reportedly, they showed up and Marlon Brando had a laser that he could point to like guide these like 3 trained guard dogs, like these 3 Dobermans. Like wherever he pointed the laser, they'd go to and like post up or whatever. And so he was like using this laser to like surround these people that came to his, and he's like, just like, look at this. Isn't this incredible? I can take the laser and make the dogs attack you, or whatever. But he didn't. And then
he's not wrong. It is incredible.
It is incredible. Then he found out that guy, Richard Stanley is his name, that guy was his great-grandfather apparently this is true. His great-grandfather was the guy that Colonel Kurtz was based on.
Yes,
when Joseph
correct.
Conrad wrote that book.
That's why he wanted to do it.
Kurtz on a guy whose last name was Stanley, and that guy's grandson is the dude that was making Dr. Moreau, and that's the only reason Brando was like, okay,
I'll do this. Yeah,
right.
It's
And
a
then he
wild
made
story.
everything worse, and he fell in love with that 2-foot tall guy. That he was like, he was like, I'm not doing this movie unless you let me play the piano, and you give him a tiny little piano that he plays on top of my piano,
And dress him like me.
And he's like, and if you don't do that, it's off. And they're like, all right, I guess.
Yes.
That's like the coolest part of the movie.
Shameless promotion. Me and Burns covered the Island of Dr. Moreau on the Dollop Hollywood Hellscape. Sorry, was too organic not to.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
Well, yeah. Again, it's a very infamous thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Brando.
nuts.
Anyway, Murph, as you were saying, Brando supposedly is the guy that revolutionized acting in that way, because before that, it was all very purposefully theatrical.
Yeah, because they came straight from the stage to the camera. You know.
Right.
Also, organically, I do have to mention this. This is an organic plug of my Instagram account, which I never really use, but my profile pic is Brando as Moreau with the white face paint and the glasses.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Just that. I was like, I don't know why I chose that a long time ago, but now here we are talking about Island of Dr. Moreau, and I just remembered that.
What's your handle so people can follow you?
At Murf Meyer. Just MurfMeyer.
Follow him, and you got to start putting shit up there, though.
As Moreau.
Yeah. All right. So your answer to that was Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
But no, Jimmy Stewart, again, dude, he's like, wildest part about Jimmy Stewart to me is that he never wasn't in the army the whole time he was a famous actor. He became like a full-blown like general, right?
Yeah, I think he's like the highest decorated actor to have been in there. Like he made it up.
And when he was in during World War II, like a lot of those guys, Mel Brooks. He got in World War II and he went over there and like did morale
comedy
shit.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
which is still great.
That's cool. That's awesome, right?
It's what I would have done.
I'm not knocking that at all, but fucking Jimmy Stewart, though, when he got in,
was in the shit.
He was like flying bombing missions.
Yeah, and hit at it.
Which is like one of the most hardcore things that anybody was doing over there.
He likely used the transatlantic speech to work through his PTSD.
Yeah,
just bombing. Like he had to have a measured way of speaking. That was not really his voice. Otherwise, he would just start screaming about the horrors that he saw.
Yeah. Oh, the blood.
Oh, no, Mary. Mary, the guts were everywhere.
Destruction.
Mary, the whole village, Mary.
Yeah, the whole village, Mary.
He died in my arms.
Too. Yeah.
His name was Peter, and he loved me more than you ever have.
Yeah. So, oh, wow. All right. If you were given $100 million right now, but you have to spend it all Brewster's Million style, so like nothing smart.
Yes.
Or helpful.
No investing. You can't give it to charity. You can't invest in nothing good and altruistic and human or anything, and nothing like, you know what I mean? You get it.
Yeah.
In that scenario, what would you do with the money?
I feel like putting together a militia, is that I mean, just funding, arming, training, putting together a nice tight little militia and getting, an island or something.
That is the
because you can afford the compound too. I mean,
that's what I mean. Yes.
That is a great call. You build your own little Ruby Ridge. Where would you?
There it is. Yes.
Where would you put? Where would you want it to be? Back in?
I'd have to go back home. Yeah,
Appalachians up there and fucking.
That's right. I think I would have to take one of the old column banks. There's this set of column banks that's still actually by my folks' house. They haven't developed it yet, probably because the ground it's under is on fire or something. But I would probably get that just big old column bank area. Just put like a nice cabin, start some training facilities, some just bring it whoever's interested in joining. My bar would be pretty low.
Right. It's also funny to me to think that like if the FBI found out about it or whatever and they went up there to check on y'all's operation because they deemed it a threat, 'cause you got this militia up in the mountains and shit, and they get up there and you guys are just smoking darts and playing horseshoes and talking about fucking 80s hair metal and stuff like that.
Yeah. You got an old lady with a cheesesteak food truck that you just have out there at all times. Just pay her a base salary to stay there.
Yes. But by militia, I basically mean whoever is available to come for a good hang. That's the
militia. God, that sounds so fucking appealing though. Like for real, like having that nice little compound, you have like an underground like basement situation. Like obviously if we're talking $100 million here, you can have a home theater in there for training videos, but also training videos, but also, fucking Avatar whenever you want to. Like, God damn, that would rule. Somebody give Murf $100 million because I assume he'd let me in.
Yes.
Yeah, he already said his bar was low.
Yes, you passed that bar.
Thanks,
I love
buddy.
the Ruby Ridge comparison as well, because I'm like, I always wanted Waco, Ruby Ridge. I want without the fucking, narcissist sexual predator at the top. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
It's
always
just,
the problem.
Just Waco, but just a bunch of cool bros.
Waco,
Just
but
I think
chill.
it all
Yeah,
starts
right.
that
Chill
way in your
Waco.
brain. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you
Give me
get-
$100 million to set up chill Waco.
Yes.
Yeah. I just feel like if you have $100 million and you start, like, I'm just going to do chill Waco, and then you get there and you realize, like, God damn, all these people are under my command. You might start wanting some of them to suck your dick. You know what I mean?
Well, I understand how the power, yes, if you have that hierarchy, that's why I'm like, the 100 million goes right back. It's into the compound. It's out of my hands. I'm
Right.
back to my checking account, which
Okay.
is like, I got like $800 to my, it's passed through. It all comes through, and it's immediately in a trust, the militia,
Right.
the Chill Waco trust.
Amazing.
Because I can't have, if I have that money to dole out, no, of course that'll corrupt instantly into
Yeah.
a problem. I'm not above it. I'm not
Well-
saying I'm a better man than David Koresh.
No, certainly not.
I wouldn't go on record as saying that. Jesus.
Well, I feel like that is the best answer we're ever going to get to that question, Corey. But number
I
4.
too would like a mountain of caramel. That'd be great.
Yeah, why not? Well,
Yes.
Hershey's not that far away.
That's true.
Raid
Hershey, PA.
for all
Yes.
the chocolate hoard I assume they have there.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
The chocolatiering that goes on.
All right.
Did you see that Hershey's getting like a fucking what looks like an epic biopic about the Hershey family?
No, I have not
No.
Uh,
seen.
Yeah.
Who's playing old man Hershey?
I don't know. I saw the trailer and it was like
Robert Pattinson, probably.
that would be all. It
probably.
seems like a choice he would make. I don't know enough about it, but we'll come back to that at some later point.
Like
but just know,
A24 is making a Hershey movie?
I don't know if it's A24, but it's something in it. I'm not saying it looks like. It doesn't look like the Chris Hansen biopic, but it does look like it's going to be
Like a
more
slick-
serious than you. It's not like Willy Wonka. You know what I mean?
Right. I almost want that. That's what's funny about the Hershey family, because the A24 treatment is its own thing that's now somewhat become a parody of itself, I think
Yeah.
is fair to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, the like old school biopic, just like, no, almost like the Michael. Do you see that Michael biopic?
I haven't seen
I
it
haven't
yet
seen it yet either.
I mean, there's no reason
because it's just
to.
a jerk fest, right?
Big time jerk fest.
Yeah.
Janet doesn't. Here's all we need to say about that biopic that I walked away thinking. Aside from now, we know like Michael was weird just because he had animals. That was the only reason he was weird, because he had the chimpanzee and whatnot. Janet is not in the film.
That's
so
crazy.
This world exists where there is no Janet Jackson in the
That's
family at all.
Crazy, because dude, she was a mega star.
I mean, yes.
Like obviously, no one's as big as Michael, but like she was
No.
more than a footnote in this man's life.
I know. And sadly, it took me halfway through the film. I just kept looking and being like, wait, so that's just LaToya. Where the hell? Like,
Latoya's in it.
LaToya's there.
Is
Okay.
Tito in it?
Tito, Jermaine,
Really?
LaToya.
So they're all
Yes.
in it but Janet. you
I
mean.
think there's one brother and Janet. I don't know which brother. It's not Tito or Jermaine. They're both in there.
It's
Okay.
Is it a thing where Janet declined to be
Yes.
included?
Okay.
Yes.
I was about to say, I understand the brothers being in it because they're going to do the Jackson 5 thing, but having LaToya but no Janet doesn't make sense unless Janet was just like, absolutely not. I don't
I
want to
know.
be in that piece of shit.
It's a bold choice. But that level of biopic, they did it with like Elton John. They did
Bohemian
it with
Rhapsody.
Freddie Mercury. Yes. I want that for Hershey. I want
Yeah.
that for old man Hershey, because the A24 is kind of like, what are we doing here? It's
Yeah.
fucking Hershey family.
It's funny to frame it like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, but then instead of all this whimsical shit, it's just like drunk your uncles falling
Yeah.
into chocolate vats or whatever,
Yes,
and then they have to unionize because Hershey keeps fucking them
I
over
do
or whatever.
want that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
want
the
House
Oompa
of
Loompas-
Guinness, but Hershey. That's what
right.
I want.
With a
Yes.
bunch of fucking white trash Central Pennsylvanians or whatever.
Yes,
and
just
then
on
bring
the
in the
picket line.
IRA.
Yeah.
No, I do love that. Yeah, instead of just a bunch of unsuspecting children being lured in and then murdered. I mean,
Right. Do you
No way
know
around
the
that.
like? Are you up on the Hershey lore? Being a Pennsylvanian, are little Pennsylvania children? Are they taught about?
We were
is
taken to the
like
Hershey-
a local hero. You know, like
it gets to central PA, northeastern PA. There, I feel like there's because PA is a larger state.
Yeah.
There's pockets where we're kind of tucked away from some of the. So central PA is very much the Hershey part. Then there's southeastern PA, which is all Philly, Delco. They have their own thing going on. Northeastern PA, we have kind of the coal country, and then Western PA is all just like farm rural and Pittsburgh, basically.
Right.
But Hershey, I feel like to claim Hershey, you're more of like a central, like Harrisburg, capital city, like, Hershey town.
Yeah.
We always thought it was a little corny, I would say.
Okay.
If I'm being honest, yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is. Do it really smell like chocolate dough?
Right.
Yes.
It do?
It pumps that chocolate stank out of the
That's
smokestacks.
neat.
Murph, just real quick, apropos of nothing. Can you hit us with a little bit of that Delco accent? Can you do that?
Oh, the hoagie? Yeah, I could. I mean, I talk about hoagies, talk about the water ice. We were talking about going down the Jersey Shore. The water ice down there is very.
What's water ice?
Water ice is, like Italian ice. Water ice. It's
was
like
it Nina's or whatever?
It's basically just
Rita's. Right?
Well, Rita's is a custard.
Okay,
Oh,
sorry.
either way, I'm a big
Rita's has the custard. The water ice is more just like frozen chipped ice with the color flavor squirts.
So like kind of Hawaiian shaved ice, but a little bit
There you are.
Dude, I'm a huge fan.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, a lot of my cousins from Philly, so that there people on my dad's side of the family have the hoagie, the Wawa hoagie stuff. But yeah, I didn't pick up on that, but I can pretend. Not as well as Kate Winslet.
Right. Oh, buddy. Tell me. I've been thinking about rewatching that show, but I can't get my wife on board, even though she liked it, because we watched Task and I love Task.
Did you know season 2 of Task is going to be a Mayor of Easttown crossover?
Oh no, I did not. I knew they were making season 2 at well.
Yeah. Now Kate's fancy.
I know, Kate is very fancy. She's
Kate is fancy.
Yeah,
I love
Kate
Kate
Winslet. My first introduction to her is Titanic when I'm 10, so she might have been my answer if I was the guest.
Yes.
Yeah. So. I don't know who else is confirmed, but I can't remember her name. She's also in the show Paradise. She plays the top woman, the CEO lady in Paradise, who's also in Mayor of Easttown.
Yes.
She's confirmed for the new season of Task, playing the same character, and I assume other people are going to be looped in. But anyways, I'm stoked because I love that little world they've created.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love it. Fuck, what was I about to say? I know what the next question is, but you had said something about, I don't remember if it was the water ice or whatever it was.
I want some water ice now.
The hoagies.
I don't fucking know. The next question, Murph, which you already alluded to earlier, I know you got an answer for. Who's your favorite historical figure and why?
So I'm going to go for, going back to Russell Buffalino and the Buffalino crime family in northeastern PA. So back in this must have been the early 60s, there was a labor organizer named Min Matheson, and she was she organized the textile, like the dress factories and the ladies garment workers of northeastern PA back at that time. But a lot of those businesses were fronts. A lot of the textile places were fronts for mafia money coming through. So Buffalino did not like that Min Matheson was stirring the pot and organizing all these lady garment workers. And she went toe to toe with them, and basically there was some sort of, this was also left out of The Irishman, sadly. But my understanding,
the part with all the broads,
the part with all the broads, right.
Yeah.
All the broads. Hours, but we don't have time.
We're going to cut one and only one thing.
One thing from this bloated
epic. What are you guys thinking? How about the shit with all the mouthy broads in it?
That's right. We're going to de-age Bobby De Niro to the point of no return.
Yeah, I don't know why we included that part to begin with.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. But no, that's really funny.
That's hilarious, dude.
And what's amazing too is I don't know who would play Min Matheson. I'm not ready to cast Maggie Gyllenhaal. Maybe, I don't know.
Let her in everything.
Kate Winslet. Let her do the
Winslet.
same.
Yeah, let's get Kate Winslet in there, stepping up to Peck, because now Pesci played Buffalino in The Irishman. Right. So you just love to see Min Matheson going toe to toe with Joe Pesci. We missed Marty. You fucked that one up.
That's so, dude. Again, considering that movie's 4.5 hours long, that is so goddamn funny.
So fun.
I know,
That's
and it's
so
a fun,
funny.
And politics aside of loving a good labor rabble rouser, it's just like that's a fun narrative to put in the movie.
Of course.
But anyway, so historically, Min Matheson was in northeastern PA, organized all these ladies. As of course, like the textile barons didn't like the workers organizing, so they tried to like buddy up to Buffalino. But Buffalino was also like, well, I'm just running money through I'm shaking down all these local businesses. I'm running money through. This is just bad for business. And since he was kind of a level-headed, you could reason with Buffalino.
Right.
Him and Min Matheson kind of behind closed doors came together. And I think that it was basically just like, well, we're going to get better wages. We'll get off the picket line. I just want everyone to be taken care of here who's working here. And, we'll keep your shops open. We don't give a shit about what's going on because labor and mafia have always been, hand in hand
of course
over the years anyway. But yeah, I would say one of my favorite historical figures, Min-Master. I think I told you too about my uncle Tony Maloney, as was
Tony Baloney. I remember at first.
Tony Baloney.
I mean, yes. Tony Maloney is also great.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous name.
I don't remember you correcting us.
No, I was like, listen, if a baloney flies.
Definitely. Baloney plays. There's no doubt about that.
Remind us, though, of Tony. Like, I remember you telling us about it, but then I was doubled over in laughter over the name that I've probably forgotten a lot of the lore of Tony Baloney.
Yeah, Tony Maloney is my great-great-great-grandfather who came over from Ireland and was in the Molly Maguires, which was the local, like, rabble-rousing. They got the union, the coal workers together in the union. They just kind of came over from Ireland. They were systematically like murdered by the Pinkertons and some of the other
classic.
Yeah, the
were they
coal
like
barons
the
put
Talmany
together
motherfuckers, but in Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yes, and they deputized everyone, so it was like fair for them to chase down these union organizers and just shoot them and hang them and have these public executions. So Tony Maloney, my uncle, was able to escape, but got caught in a bar in Midtown Manhattan by one of the Pinkertons and shot in an alley behind there. And that's how he died. So my aunt like saved this tin, like this portrait that they had of him, and it was passed down from the generations. I think we talked about this a little bit when we were, last time we were chatting about it, but like, it's funny that the lore of like, I don't know what kind of human being this man was outside of,
probably not great. I mean,
probably not. I mean, yeah,
the part you're clinging to, he sounds awesome.
Yeah, I love him.
I have to imagine.
Yeah.
He had some other idiosyncrasies.
Well,
that had
and
not
my aunt,
aged as well.
You didn't burn his dinner, I'll say that.
That's right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you asked my great-great-great-grandmother,
right?
Did he smack a bitch? And he smacked
right.
a bitch.
Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, the mythologizing and all of that aside, just what he did to be like, fuck it, we got it. These people are in terrible. I mean, this was the Breaker Boys. This was like fighting for the 8-hour workday. This was kids in the mines. Like this was all the shit where they were like, this can't stand. This will not stand. So
well, on that note though, like, where are you at on that kind of thing of like, actually, you know what, real quick, let's take one more quick break and then I'll ask this question.
Good call.
We'll be back right after this. All right. So, yeah, he said, my old Tony Maloney, he was great, except probably kind of problematic at the same time. Where you stand on all that when it comes to just, because it's like, you can't pull a white man from history that, I don't care what they did.
I think the one thing we can claim is unfair is pulling a white man out of context from history.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say, I won't say unfair. I'll just say buckle up.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad read, fellas.
That's right. Yeah. White men out of context, or in the context, but in today's context. Now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there are very few. That would survive. I mean, I would even say, present company included, 100 years from now, people pulling what's being, what we've said on the internet. Myself.
And so I guess I'm kind of just leaning towards like, so maybe we just shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? But it's like, I get how, I don't know, some things are worth bringing up. But
yeah,
it's like,
who someone
are never gonna, they change so much, and life and society and everything changes so much. When people say it's like a cliched sort of hand wavy thing now to be like, well, it was a different time. But it was a different time.
And there's some things where it's like, look, there was never a time where you weren't a dick for owning another human being.
Right.
But with some things, it's just like, I mean, dude, again, like with the F slur in the 90s, like, come on, dude. Again, I'm not saying it's great, but like, not everybody that did that was a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things where a different time does play for me.
I agree. And I also think that there's too much of a focus, and this also is certainly not an accident, but I think there's a lot of the focus on more of the nitty gritty, whether it be the language that was used, the culture, like the stuff at the time, rather than, it's a great distraction and a diversion from, which again, I think both things can be true. I think you can hold certain historical scumbags. If you're a scumbag on a historical level, where it's like you were doing shit. I think a recent one that kind of came out is Cesar Chavez. A lot of stuff came to light with him. I think that would be a great example where it's like, yes, with the agricultural organizing and as a leftist her hero figure, fucking boulevards named after him, etc. That when you're just like, oh, there was some sort of systemic predatory abuse going on, then fuck that dude. Like, I think it's okay to say fuck that dude. But I think when you're talking about somebody, you know, if you dig up an old letter he wrote and you're like, some of the verbiage in here is questionable. It's like, I don't fucking know. Like, what are we talking about from there? So to me, I feel like if you're digging up things that are in bad faith in a way that we all know it was a different time versus, like you just said, there are some things that there was no time, regardless of things maybe being acceptable. It's like, I don't know, maybe don't just like fucking bootlick the status quo. Like, it's fine if there were things that were okay or happened a lot that some people just didn't stand for. I'm like, yeah, I think we could hold people to a higher standard on a systemic level, but on an individual, they did a thing, they cheated on somebody, they said something that wasn't right. Like, I don't know. All of that just feels like a little bit more psyop-y, for lack of a better word, to me.
There's another conversation me and Corey have had on here. It's come up a few times over the years doing this podcast that I would love to hear your take on. It seems to me that, like, we've gotten the impression at multiple points that, like, super rich people or wealthy people or powerful people or all of the above, that for a long time, of course, a lot of them were absolutely monstrous and whatever else, but there was at least this sort of, like, fucking, like, you know, they would at least front like they should. There was a responsibility to it. Do you know what I mean? Or that they should try to do something to have earned that. Or like back in fucking feudal England and shit. If you were, if you were a lord, you were supposed to fucking go to battle or whatever. You're like, you know, you're supposed to send your sons to battle and all that shit. You're supposed to like take, you know, and there's.
I was about to say, I think the old money, I think it's a great parallel. The old money in America was very royal family feeling.
Right.
Like Britain's royal family, like that idea of, yeah, we're the chosen, you know, the birthright, whatever. We hate our kings.
That. Like the idea that, like, earn that fucking, the be the man that fortune bred or whatever the fuck, you know. And it's again, they were still assholes, but it's like, but that's still them having that mentality, or at least being told they needed to have the mentality. That was still was better.
Yeah, that was a positive
like, even
thing.
the fucking even the fucking Gilded Age motherfuckers. You're from Pennsylvania, Carnegie Mellon University, and all this shit, and like they
Rockefellers
used to build schools and colleges and stuff because it's like they were made to feel like they had to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
they felt guilty at least, maybe.
I feel like that used to be a thing, and now it's the exact opposite, it feels like. It's
it's like, don't do anything for anybody. Fucking be there for yourself.
You're gay. You're gay. It's like, fucking, like, have more and be higher than anyone else.
Step over homeless.
All this. And it's like, it's just, we have a better class of rich people, dude. It's fucking, it's a real problem, I feel like.
It really is. I mean, you know, yes, I think throwing and I will say this, I'll always say when I'm wrong. For years ago, I was always of the mind, like, fuck it, whatever, mask off, like, that is fine. Like, who cares? They're just doing what they're doing. It's the same.
I used to be like that too.
I used to be like that, but that was also, I think it's fair to say, even the last like 10 years.
Right.
The sprint to the top, which is the moral bottom, is like, has been spectacular to witness, where we are now, like, I'm sure there was always some level of sociopathy within the elite.
Yes.
Of course.
But now I think it is predominant. It is completely
proud
fueled
of it.
by, the mask off has now led to a level of, I mean, they openly talk about it. I mean, we're going back to the tech
It's like
bros.
a virtue now.
Yes, they
them.
openly discuss when they stumble over, and I think I don't even know if I'm thinking of Altman or might be Peter Thiel, but whichever one's stumbling over the basic question of, like, should humanity continue to exist?
Right.
When there's a hesitation on that, it's like the mask off has now just gone to levels where I'm like, I don't know. The Rockefellers were their own animal, of course. And like I said, the exploitation of labor has always been, that's how they've built their fortunes. But there was a sense of duty, of civic duty, there was something that I guess would just be like, there was more wiggle room for us, I will say then, than there is now. And I think that the level of sociopaths that are now just kind of running the show is pretty shocking.
Yeah. And I wonder what that is, because it seems like, it feels to me like it was the first wave for most of history, seemingly.
Yes.
Like when you had nothing but landed gentry and it was all bloodlines and stuff and everything. It's like,
and you couldn't openly discuss the, like, sex trade of minors. Like the one thing for the Epstein emails that was a big well, I just think about this. Where are the because there were a lot of letters sent from rich families to rich families back in the day. The casual nature, if nothing else, with some of these emails that have been leaked is just like, what the fuck? Like they don't even amongst themselves. Like there are people CC'd on here where like, I don't know. Is everyone just open? This wasn't even like no one even had to hide it.
I know it's so crazy to see like, hey, we're going to have the concubines tied and bound, and the cucumber salads all at 3 sent from my iPad. Like that's fucking crazy.
It is crazy. And there was no, like, they were like, of course there'll be no accountability for us. There never is, and there won't be. So we're just very casually on public email servers, just firing off messages that are pretty outrageous. And yeah, I think that there was maybe back in the day some level of, I don't know if it's decorum, I don't know what the hell it is, but some level of civility to be like, there were pedos, of course, but not in mixed company.
Well, it was legal back then.
They had some. I know. I say all this, and I think about it, and then I think about like the fucking French Revolution and stuff like that, and it's like there were people. A modest proposal.
A modest proposal. Yeah.
Like, and so I mean, that shit. Fucking Charles Dickens. Like, I mean,
you got the Dickens in you.
It always was definitely a thing too, but it's like, I don't know, it still feels different today to me. Like, again, they used to at least like pretend, or they had some shame about it or whatever, whereas like you said, now it's like a virtue, or they're proud of the fact that they're completely bereft of empathy.
I'm just floating this like too. This is just a thought. I don't know. I haven't really thought this through, but if you think about like it could also just be a natural progression of what the game that's been being played is, because like any game of Monopoly that gets towards the end, or any of these kind of Risk, any of these games, the end stages are always just very pathetic. Yeah. And like the worst of the worst get to the top and are just kind of like, like they're just, cackling their way to, while everyone's kind of disinterested and, getting high over in the corner being like, yeah, man, you won. You got all the fucking toys. Go for it. Like, it does feel like maybe part of it with the technology with us, like, all these, I mean, I just keep going back to the Epstein files, but there've been many leaks over the years of the WikiLeaks stuff. We've been getting teases of a lot of the behind the curtain shit for a while now. And I think it just has gotten dark. I think just the natural progression of this game that we're playing here we're at the stages where it's like the fucking grotesque, the most grotesque, animals are at the top here, just running amok, basically. And it feels like the rest of us, without any power or actual legitimate checks and balances, has just made way for like the worst of the worst.
Ruby Ridge.
I don't know if we ran this 100 times. Yeah, this is my the sermon of my $100 million Ruby Ridge experiment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like if we ran this 1,000 times as simulation, we probably would end up with some version of what we have now.
Right.
Under capitalism, I suppose.
All right. We do have one more question in the Fancy Five. This one's a little more lighthearted, perhaps. I want to see where you landed on this, if anything. It's okay if you couldn't come up with anything. We'll see. We, especially early in the show, we focused a lot on what we call where the Venn diagram overlapped between fancy people and trash people, but usually there was some sort of like difference. So it was like boats, right? But of course, like with super rich people, it's like mega yachts, and with trash people, it's like pontoons and stuff like that, but it's still boats. Or like hunting, like big game hunting or whatever the fuck, or fox hunting amongst like British rules or whatever, versus just like,
squirrel
blowing squirrels up. Yeah.
Yes.
And so you get, and then of course, cousin fucking, which was a bit, a big one. Yeah. They did it for like bloodline. Keep
the elites. Pure. Yeah. Keep the bloodline, right. Or just, I don't know. My car's broken down. I can't get down to the bar today. My cousin.
Butthole.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you get it. So I don't know if you have a new entry for that or not, or just what you think about that. But
you know what I want to say, and I don't want to take this to a dark. I want to keep this light, even though it might sound like I'm going into the darkness here. I think drugs, and I think hardcore drugs. I don't just mean like, everybody smokes weed, everybody's drinking, everyone's partying. I mean like the levels of debauchery with substances, and even in substances, like, because people used to love to paint. In the 80s, the crack epidemic was always like, that's just poor urban, and by urban, I mean, of course, black, people in the gutter smoking crack. And it's like, so we're really fucking rich people.
Right. Yeah. I've smoked crack.
So
I'm not rich, but I'm also not black.
I mean, look, you have a friend who might buy a bank, Corey. Jesus Christ. No, but I mean, yes, I've smoked plenty of crack myself, and I find myself maybe in the middle somewhere. But I've smoked crack with very wealthy people.
Right.
I've shot heroin. I was selling heroin in the early aughts. I was selling to people who were, pawning CDs for heroin, and also people who were very, very wealthy. And that's how I you talked about in my area. I didn't go to high school with them, but I found my way into the most wealthy sections of northeastern Pennsylvania by selling coke and heroin. So I think I think the drugs, and I also think weird drugs and doing them in weird ways, like boofing. Boofing was something I've seen come from wealthy before I knew anything about it in my circle of friends.
Boofing's the butt, right?
Boofing's the butt,
right.
yeah.
Well, that came up in Kavanaugh's hearing, right?
Was Kavanaugh boofing?
He was
I
boofing,
just remember
or
that
butt chugging.
Boofing. I thought boofing got into the mainstream consciousness recently. I thought because of Brett Kavanaugh.
I mean, that could be right, but again, elite circles.
I know elite. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Don't get more elite than a Supreme Court justice.
That's right. So I think that. Like that to me feels like something that very wealthy people, whether it's like the adrenaline glands of newborns in the Epstein files, or it's like getting high off. I just think people who are, having a rough go of it versus people who just are looking to feel something. I think there's some, the Venn diagram comes together in a way who people who just have, middle of the road mental health, have a family, they have a job, they're just like, I'm not injecting that into my dick.
Right.
Like I'm not putting that up my ass. I'm not using that. Like it feels like that's the Venn diagram where you could find people, in those circles, both elite and gutter circles.
It's people with nothing to lose or people with everything to lose.
Right.
Those are the people.
Isn't it off of that? It's kind of like a just trying to feel something kind of thing.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's like there was all these stories about these guys, these dudes, super rich and famous and hot, A-list actor guys who get into weird sex shit or whatever because it's just.
You see how Trae added hot?
Where else do you go from there? Well, that's important. I feel
editorializing there a bit.
No, I just mean like whatever. Matthew McConaughey likes to fucking come on feet or whatever. I don't know if he does. You know what I mean? Those type
come
of guys.
On like a really good looking pair of feet.
Yes. Yeah. But the hot part is important, Corey. I don't see it is. We're talking about fucking sex here.
Okay. Right on. Go on.
The point is when you have everything for so long, where do you go from there is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so like maybe with the drugs and stuff, it's like a version of that, like
I think so. I also think it's isolating.
With super poor people, whatever, it's sort of the opposite. It's like, again, fuck it. Any kind of escape of any kind at all.
Is welcomed. Yeah. And I think there's a certain isolation. And I mean, the celebrity side of like the elites too is its own animal because then they have everything that goes along with being a public figure. But even just like the rich people in the shadows, like the rich people that people don't know about, it's just, there is something isolating to some degree where I think it's just because I've had like those human moments, those connections when when you're at your most high, especially doing something with someone, whether it's stigmatized or for whatever reason, you're in the shadows, you're in the gutter, you're doing the thing. You're in a motel room at the Red Roof Inn, paying $45 a night. You're doing it. You're living it. I think that is like those moments are like people always like you see them when they're in movies or in stuff. It's like it's cartoonish or it's romanticized or it's like someone on coke rambling for 9 hours, whatever. But I do think there's something aside when that air of like the false sense of whatever the drug is bringing, but you get to the humanity of it. It makes sense why it would also be able to hang like with someone really wealthy and really
share
poor
my shame.
Yes.
Yeah, we
we're
both
together.
Right. Like we have our differences, but like we have this one thing in common, and that's what we're fucking doing right now. Like if you and somebody else are both doing cocaine together, it doesn't matter how different you are. You'll figure out how to get along for the next 5 hours. You know what I mean?
It's true. And
so
my only beef at the end of the day is just like, well, you ain't going to jail for this.
Right.
And we could. So that's the only, like, otherwise you're just like, yeah, this is great. But you have a little bit of a net here to fall into.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like, our humanity, we can connect on that level and be like, this is isolating. We're human beings and we share the shame, the society, societal, whatever. It's like in this moment, we could be here together and just Get down and dirty.
Hey, man.
Get down and dirty.
So Brett
So
Kavanaugh
that to
was
me
sticking
feels
stuff
like
up his butt. Did we land on
I
that?
Googled it. It like there was people found all these old again. You know, I mean, dude, this is 2018 or whatever. It's just fucking 8 years ago. I just remember he had the big meltdown during his.
Here's what I remember from that.
Confirmation.
The only thing
stuff.
I may be remembering it wrong, but I remember he was crying. It seems like I remember them being like asking him a question like, did you sexually assault this woman? And it seemed like his answer was, look, I like to have a couple beers. Like that. And it was like, that's a weird, what do you mean? What the fuck? Like,
Yes.
all right.
She gave a long, detailed testimony. Blasey Ford, I think. Yeah. Christine Blasey Ford. She came out and gave a very, very detailed. And yeah, his response was like, well, I boofed a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's that they, as part of that whole process, they found these old, like you were saying earlier, like letters or an old journal or something from like when he was younger, and it included boofing in it. And they asked him, on the stand, what is boofing? And what he said was, oh, that's just what we called farting or something like that.
Shut the
what
fuck
he said.
up. You journaled about farting?
No, Brett.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I think that's pretty much how that went down.
Fucking Supreme Court justice said that's just what we called farting. I hate this version of the world we live in.
I know. If nothing else out of those hearings, there should have just been a definitive ruling on that's bullshit.
Right.
You boofed. You done boofed.
You done boofed.
Let's be honest here, Brett.
Yeah. The boofer.
Also, boofing, who's calling fart at that age? You're like, what are you, a fucking toddler? Like, ooh, I tooted.
Right. And then you're writing about it. I mean, I do that, but I'm a comedian.
And also, you're in college. You're fucking drinking like a pig. You're eating like a pig. Like, you're farting. Your whole journal would be about your. I just had another legendary bout of flatulence last night. Like, you're not writing about your fucking farts at 20. Come on.
I'm back on the wagon with staying in shape, trying to anyway. And one thing I found, it gets ever harder the older you get, because of course it does. The curse of being alive. That's how they do. I've never been great at keeping it tight. Let's be honest. My problem was mostly in the kitchen or whatever. But now that I'm 40, it's like, we looser than ever down there. But I'm doing my best to push back. They, a lot of people think that that's just kind of what happens, and it is. But people think it's like, oh, you get a dad bod because you just drink more beer, you lay on the couch more, you eat more trash. And it's like, yeah, but there's more to it than that a lot of people don't really know or understand, because as men get older, our bodies start to reprogram themselves. We just sort of naturally start storing more fat and losing muscle faster because, again, existence is a nightmare. Yeah. But the main reason that this happens is testosterone. So as the man, your testosterone levels start to drop off as you get older, and it can happen as early as your 30s. When you start to lose testosterone, it becomes easier to gain fat, especially around the stomach region. The most frustrating part, perhaps, the more body fat you gain, the more your body converts testosterone into estrogen, which makes it even easier to gain even more fat. So it becomes a vicious cycle for a lot of men as we're reaching middle age. That's why I want to tell you about this week's sponsor, Mars Men. Mars Men is a natural supplement designed to support healthy testosterone levels, which can help your body burn fat more efficiently and build lean muscle. When your hormones are working the way they're supposed to, a lot of things get easier. Workouts, energy, staying leaner. It's basically helping your body get back to running like it used to when you was a spry, young 20-something. No weird stimulants or synthetic hormones. This is just real, all-natural ingredients like Tongkat Ali, Shilajit, zinc, boron. We love boron here at the show. Always talking about how we love boron, and even more that support healthy T levels, weight management, and exercise performance. All of it made right here in the U.S. of A., third-party tested, and right now it's available at GNC nationwide. As I said, I've gotten back on the wagon, so I'm taking Mars Man. I'm drinking protein. I'm, lifting weights, but not coupling it with cheeseburgers. Yeah, it's a new-ish thing about it. A few weeks in, and it's going pretty good. I've lost like 15 pounds in about a month or 5 weeks, something like that. So I mean, I still got a ways to go, but it it's going all right so far, I have to say. So no complaints over here. And by the way, in terms of complaints, Mars Men offers a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there really isn't any risk. Worst case scenario, you don't love it. Well, you can just get your money back and everything's fine. But just so you know, over 91% of their users report higher energy levels. Thousands of guys are already feeling incredible results. Just look at the reviews on the website and see for yourself. So for a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts too at mengotomars.com. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out. When you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. So please support our show and tell them that Puttin on Airs sent you. That's how they know it was us. mengotomars.com. Tell them you came from POA for Puttin on Airs. Get that tea flowing, baby, with Murf Men.
Guys, have you ever woken up and immediately needed a nicotine pouch or a cup of coffee just to feel human? Well, I can tell you this. If you're buddies with me, you certainly have, because I don't know anyone for whom at least one of those things is not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I get up, I got to have something to take the edge off or whatever. And I've been really trying to cut down on my nicotine. It's been God bless, at this point, like a well over 20-year relationship we've had. But I'm trying my best to get through that. And I really like, putting in a little pouch. But what if I told you that there's pouches that hit, but they don't have no nicotine in them? I'm talking about, that's right, got them right here. I got the ultra pouches. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and throw one in right now. But these ain't nicotine. They are for energy and focus and all that stuff. But the reason I like it is because it feels like I'm doing a bad thing. You feel like you're sinning, but you're actually winning. What do you think about that, Trae? Should I trademark that? That's not bad, don't you think?
That's pretty damn good. Yeah.
Ultra, and I've just now started using, but my buddy Brian, actually, before we even got sponsored by him, he had been on these, and I've been asking him about them, and he used them as like that. I guess it's an oral fixation that we all have. They've got in infinity, but it's spelled different, so it hits. It's a cleaner, smoother energy boost than caffeine, so you don't have that crash. It's also got that L-theanine in it, alpha GPC, vitamin B6, and B12 for balanced energy and mood. It's also got vitamin B6, vitamin B12. You need those things. That's good energy. That's good mood. They're also clean. Again, it's plant-powered pouches. I'll tell you this. They are good, but I shouldn't podcast with them in my mouth. That's one thing I'll have to say. I can't talk. I've already got enough marbles in my mouth. All without caffeine, nicotine, or the crash. And if you're fasting or on a diet, Ultra Pouches actually help quiet the cravings and suppress appetite, which is, hey, there you go, Trae. Another win for us on the curbing our appetite situation. Also, you might be getting better sleep with this situation. We all need better sleep, because once you start getting the better sleep, you start getting the better energy naturally. So it's just sort of a cycle. Get in a good cycle for once. You know what I'm saying? And I can totally see myself just walking around with this, throw it in the back of my jeans, got my little skull ring, but it's not a skull ring. You know what I mean? It already goes with my lifestyle. Get the calm, steady flow state focus. All with zero nicotine and zero caffeine. It's also, by the way, Mark will love this, it's backed by Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, and over 100 other professional football players. I'll tell you this, my favorite flavor so far is the tropical. I'm a tropical man, but they've got cool mint, they've got wintergreen, they got watermelon, they got blue raz. Ultra is the ultimate guilt-free pouch, delivering instant focus and mental clarity without nicotine or caffeine. New customers can use the code POA to get 15% off at takeultra.com. That's takeultra.com for 15% off with code POA. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that our show sent you. Skew.
All right. Well, Corey, do you want to do some airmails with Murf? Or
I'll do a couple for sure.
Murf, these are like emails from the listeners. Obviously, you're not going to know you're going to be on there, but we'll do a couple of these and then have you let people know where they can, remind people where they can find you and all that stuff, and then we'll call her a day, I think.
Perfect. Well, on the note of the Venn diagram, we got the subject line here, show idea Elvis. This is from our friend Allison. I've been adding some Elvis movies to my Plex server, and it just occurred to me that Elvis would probably fit the show description of being fancy and trashy at the same time. My memory isn't great. but I don't remember an episode about him. Have we done Elvis?
No, it's weird. I almost mentioned Elvis earlier because of the celebrities going and it being in the army thing. I almost brought Elvis up.
Oh,
but,
yes.
Yeah, I definitely agree because, you know, he was like...
Yeah, he's the king.
Right, he the king, Mississippi, all that stuff.
But also mayonnaise nanner sandwiches.
Bro, palatial, like fucking. I feel like there was monkeys and stuff,
yeah,
and drugs,
dude.
and he like got his own FBI badge from Richard Nixon or something.
Have you seen that movie?
I have seen that movie.
It's great.
Yeah, he was like deputized into the DEA or
just
whatever.
So he could fly with his drugs or something,
and a gun,
right?
and a gun.
Yeah.
He wanted to be able to have a gun and drugs at all times. Yeah,
wild motherfucker.
Which is redneck as shit.
Right.
Yes.
But also, you got to be rich and powerful to achieve that.
And like, I think the one action that he did that literally covers both things at one time is that whilst filming in Los Angeles, he used to have a private plane go to Memphis they would put his sandwiches that he liked on it, which were banana. I'm pretty sure it was fried banana, bacon, mayonnaise,
peanut butter, right?
All peanut butter, all sorts of shit. And they would just fly them to Los Angeles, which again is both super trashy and super fucking fancy at the same time. You putting sandwiches putting a seatbelt on a nanner sandwich. You know what I mean?
Have you thought about talking earlier about how technological advancements and stuff like that, about how like I order a driver for my sandwiches all the time.
Yep.
Man, you know what I mean? Like, how weird that is.
Yes,
it's great.
Actually, we all that was outlandish,
right?
Back in the 70s or 60s, you know. But now, we've reached a level where having a servant strap your sandwich in with a seatbelt and rush it over to your front door
and it's amazing.
Yes.
It's absolutely amazing.
Chauffeur, provide me the KFC double down forthwith, if you will.
Please. And, by the way, double dash me a Butterfinger while you're at it. Please.
It's shocking, though, that I will say, Elvis does seem like the perfect...
He is.
As far as Americana goes, he is the Venn diagram of trash.
I mean,
Graceland.
Yeah.
Graceland is, you know, in and of it, just the idea of that.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, one of the first things I said whenever we first got money from like the book or whatever, and I started having these dreams of like, oh, this will last forever, which, spoiler, it didn't and it won't. But I was like, dude, I straight up told Amber, I was like, literally the first thing I'm going to do when I get super rich is I'm going to recreate Elvis's jungle room at my house. Like if I have a room big enough for it, I'll just do it, but I'll build one on. And that's, by the way, still very much, if I ever get super rich, will do this. Like I'm talking, I'm going to get the blueprint. I want the jungle room, but like, it's just exactly when you give a fucking redneck money, this is what they're going to do with it, but it's still money.
Yes.
Subject line, big timing celebrities. This is from our buddy, Mike Anthony. Hey guys, I've been catching up on episodes and just heard you discuss the craziness of the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce wedding. Glad I picked this because go Eagles, huh? Wait, he's not a fucking Eagle. He's a Kansas City. His brother. Yeah, his brother. Yeah. I've never been one to think celebrities owe you any of their favors or time just because you ran into them, but I'm sure there are plenty of famous people who are a little chapped in the ass about finding out they didn't make the A-list for the wedding of the century. I don't know if you know this, Murf, but it was released that like Taylor Swift had her wedding like tiered like a flight, like where there was like Delta Premium people, then there was coach people of like arrival and seating and stuff. Yeah.
This goes back to the elites eating themselves, which we talked about earlier. Yeah.
He said, it reminded me of a couple times when I accidentally blew off some celebs. While working as a high school sports reporter, a player for the Kansas City Chiefs who had attended one of our local high schools brought some fellow NFL players to town for a youth camp. There were a handful of all-pros, Super Bowl champs, and college national champs in attendance that I was sure to interview because I knew the names would draw some readers to my story. There was also a random player in the group who I didn't bother to talk to because a quick name search showed that he was some rookie who was probably just doing the camp for an extra check since he wasn't making millions yet. Sure enough, that was up-and-coming Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. A couple of years before that, I was working athletic marketing for my university, And the highlight of the spring was a country concert. Brad Paisley was the headliner, and since it wasn't football season, our constantly cash-strapped athletic department didn't have enough people on hand to properly cover all the normal operations for the baseball and softball games that weekend, while also assisting with a huge operation for the concert at the football stadium. So I found myself tasked with delivering lunch to the musical acts early in the afternoon as they hung out in the field house next to the stadium. For all my trouble, I was offered what I guess was the VIP meet and greet experience, pictures, and some signed memorabilia from the artist. I wasn't trying to be an asshole, but I had a ton to do for my usual job, and I'm not a country fan. Brad Paisley was a name I knew, but I had no use for any of his stuff and definitely didn't need to meet some teenage girl singing country songs who was his opener. Anyways, that's how I delivered Taylor Swift a mediocre sub sandwich and then big leagued her because I had to do a PA announcements for a college baseball game. As always, keep up the good work. Love y'all like chicken. That's my boy Mike.
Mike is one of y'all got anything like that? Like
where we big league somebody,
sort of kind of disrespect?
No, I'm good to everybody I meet, regardless. I treat the janitor the same way I do the CEO. You know, I'm that kind of guy.
I mean, well, okay, disrespecting is the wrong word, but
didn't realize that someone hit, and then.
Yeah, but you're right. It shouldn't change the way you treat them. But
Mike wasn't a dickhead to anybody.
I know
he just
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
it's a different thing. This is the first thing that popped in my head, Corey. You definitely told you this as soon as it happened. I went to a comedy festival once in Atlanta, and I walked into this venue, and I'd never been there before. And there's a guy out front, like he's out front, standing there, like talking sort of with the organizers and stuff, and he's wearing a T-shirt that has the name of the fucking festival on it, right? Or whatever.
Which usually means like,
And so I was just like, hey, sorry, I'm on the show. It's about, do you know where the green room is? You know, whatever. It's like, am I supposed to be here? What? Ask him questions like, hey, clearly you're running this thing, whatever. And it was when he turned, and then I realized as he like turned and was talking to me, whatever, but it was Paul Provenza.
Yeah. The green room.
Of the green room with Paul Provenza. They had given those shirts out to people, and he was wearing his or whatever.
It's a very Paul thing to do.
And I just, I didn't even really look at his. I saw the shirt first. I just, you know what I'm saying. I wasn't expecting.
Paul
to
looks
see
like a
Paul
dude that would just be hanging out, like,
right.
Yeah.
And then it was awkward once I sort of realized, like, wait a minute. And then you know me, Corey. I did not
handle it well.
Exit the situation.
We accidentally did it to Kurt Loder one time.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
No, it was done on our behalf, using us. We were pawns in doing it to Kurt Loder. And then fucking Sway called us out on it.
Made fun of it, which was hilarious. We were at Sirius Satellite Radio's headquarters, Murf, and there was somebody that worked there, some photographer or whatever. We had just got there and was like, all right, guys, let's get a picture. You want to get a picture? And they were like,
in front of the thing.
Excuse us. Can we get this picture? And we weren't paying attention, but the person they said excuse us to and moved out of the way was MTV legend Kurt Loder. Who was also there. And he was like, oh, sorry. And he moves out of the way. And we're like taking a picture. And Sway is also there. And he's like, yeah, MTV legend Kurt Loder. Make way for these hillbillies that just showed up.
Dude. Which, by the way, is an honor.
Excellent.
It's an honor.
Of course.
And we dabbed it up with Sway. Like, he was fucking cool after that.
Yeah,
but
it was funny.
That's
great.
perfection.
Yeah.
It was. I recently saw Kurt Loder is 81 years old. Did you know this?
Great.
81. Wow. I know.
Okay, well, Corey, that was 10 years ago when we saw him. I'm sure he still does look great, but yeah that was.
Well, he looked great for 71.
That happened to me, which is fine. I deserve nothing. I was backstage at Politicon, and Anthony, I can't say his name,
Atamanik,
Atamanik, who was doing Trump there and was all trumped out, came up to me and like asked me some like PA question or whatever, and all I said was like, I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm not one of the. And then he realized who I was and was like, oh shit, I'm sorry, my bad. But I had like a lanyard on, but we all had lanyards on. They gave us lanyards.
You look like a tech nerd.
I know. Yeah, it was that kind of thing. It's like, we got an extra mic for me, or what can I get one or whatever.
You said Politico, not Politicon. I was going to mention having to stand next to Roger Stone, which was one of the.
It was the same weekend.
That was one of the scariest moments in my life.
They had a big comedy show they did there, and I was on it, and so was Anthony. And
that's right.
He didn't realize that, but anyway, yeah.
What's funny is in this cesspool of a business that is entertainment, that I feel like we come from a place where that because I've had that where in various events did the television association shit, the TCA thing, and for the Gethard show back in the day, and that I don't ever expect anything from anyone with that, and I actually get really weird if there is any level of. So I think you're the perfect person for that to happen to, because in some circles, because it's such a cesspool, would be someone would file that away, and come for a Tamanik 5 years later, in a writer's room or in a scenario where they could fuck him over in some. People are fucking nuts in this.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
So that's I'm glad we don't just come from a place of entitlement like that. So it really would have to get, we'd have to reach some level, some stratosphere that we never
Corey
will.
Said I looked like a tech guy. I wish I'd have thought of this way earlier. I'll do this and we'll get out of here. But like, sometimes it's just, there's an aura. You have an aura of like, being not being important.
Yeah. You look like a nobody. Yeah. You seem
like, because one time I was in Denver for a wedding, and I'm like officiating the wedding. But it's like it's like a cool Denver guy wedding. So like, I had on jeans and a blazer, like dark jeans and a blazer and a button up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep,
but like a blazer, I'm like,
you look good.
Dressed up. I go,
that's an efficient outfit.
I know. I go to waiting on my Uber at this, like, there's like a hotel bar down there, and I walk out to wait for the Uber, and there's a dude also down there, a black guy in a suit. And he goes, damn, they got you working today too? Because it was a Saturday. And I was like, what? And he goes, who you driving today? Who you picking? And I was like, oh, I'm not. I was like, I'm actually going to a wedding right now. And he was like, oh shit. He's like, I'm here to pick up. I thought you was a driver too, just because, and like, I was like, I looked like nice, you know what I mean? I thought I looked nice, but apparently I looked like a chauffeur.
You looked valet, valet,
like nice. A valet, and that's my, you know what I mean? And that's like me doing my absolute best. Like if I ever go to like a red carpet or something, I will look like an usher.
Can you hold this
who
purse?
Works. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And it's like, it's something about you just project it, Like,
yes,
it just never leaves you.
Move. We're trying to get a picture of the new Airbud, you piece of shit.
It does not. Yes, no. They can smell it coming off of us. Make no mistake.
Yeah. Murf, what do you got coming up that you would like to promote? Any projects, any dates, anything? Good Vibes. If you want to promote those, that's also fine.
Definitely want to promote Good Vibes. Me and my wife have a podcast called Big Sloppy where we just shoot the shit every week about whatever.
Nice.
So the Big Sloppy podcast. And yeah, that's it. My Island of Dr. Moreau Instagram portrait is something I'd like to promote. So at Murf Meyer on Instagram. And yeah, that's about I'm cooking up a few other things, but nothing to publicly discuss yet.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, we're glad to have finally done this. Like Corey said, standing invitation.
Oh, yeah. You've got the link, actually. We record every week
just
at 4:15. You can just show
up. Afternoon, you want to just show
up. I mean,
I swear to God, like, we would love it.
I will do that until you regret it.
Is this you right here, the big sloppy?
That's Big Sloppy. Yeah, that's our podcast. Yep. Hell yeah.
All right, there we go.
Me and Corey both met Murf in Philadelphia a few weeks ago, like a month or so ago now, and fell in love with him immediately. So.
We did. Yeah, I will say there was a bit of a bromance happening
immediately.
Yes.
We got no work done on the project we were supposed to be. We just hung out.
That'd be a fun, like, 90s rom-com style movie about a meet cute amongst slobby bros.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it don't get gay. It's just a bromance.
No.
It's made in the tone of.
Yes,
like
it's funny because I can already see the scenes because, like, when we got back from that trip,
that's a pretty good idea.
It is.
That's a premise.
I'm kind of surprised that hasn't been done. Am I missing something?
When we got back from that trip, I'd just be sitting on the couch with my fucking legs up like this in the Steak Man group text, just giggling like a little kid.
Right.
And my wife's like, "Would you fucking pay it?" And I'm like, "Hold on just a second. Oh my God, that's so right, Murf. You're right." Fucking blah, 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 blah. So, like, I can already see all the scenes. It's great. Let's write that shit.
Dude, that evening in the hotel lobby with just an old country buffet of Chinese food and alcohol that was just ripped from the lobby fridge there I
stole so much.
Yeah, just housing and champagne. I mean, the bubbles were out for Christ's sake.
I got that. You know me, son. Yeah, we got a Chinese food. I'm bringing the champagne out. And for the record, I know people are like, Corey, why'd you steal from a hotel? I tried to not steal.
Yeah,
I tried first to pay for it.
It was a nightmare. That part of it was. But
also, hotels are theft. Landlords are theft. We know the deal.
That's
Look,
correct.
man, we're all just trying to pay ourselves back.
Well, listen to that podcast and Trae. Where are you finna be?
Des Moines, Omaha, and Kansas City later this month, upstate New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Eugene, Oregon, Austin, Texas, and a bunch more all coming up soon. All at TraeCrowder.com, please.
Yes, and also on that note, me and Trae and Drew will be back together for some of the only times of the year. We're doing Nashville. That's December 10th through the 12th at Zany's. You can grab those tickets at TraeCrowder.com. And the week after in Huntsville, correct?
No. One night only.
One night only.
December 13th. After Nashville, we're driving down to Huntsville, Alabama, and doing.
There you go. Haggard and feeling like shit for one.
We'll pull through.
We're gonna be. Listen, I'll do some drugs, and it'll be great. As for me, I'm not. Those are going to be my first shows of the year. I'm not doing shit until then. So please go to my Substack, subscribe. CoreyWritesForYou.com. Appreciate everybody keeping me in the top of the rankings. I beat Jay Moore this week, so that's. I'll brag on that. I beat Jay Moore by one spot this week. And by the way, undeserved. Jay Moore is so much better than me. He probably just doesn't do much on his Substack. That's the only thing I can think of. So that's CoreyWritesForYou.com. Also, I just reactivated my Cameo. So go to cameo.com/Corey Ryan Forrester if you want a unique gift for someone you love. I go ahead and sometimes people around this time go ahead and book me for their Christmas stuff. Because as I say, during December, I limit the videos I can make because I do the Buttercream Dream character and I can only scream for so many videos. So cameo.com/Corey Ryan Forrester if you want a shout out. I do any of my characters. And also, as I say to everybody, if you get on there and you're like, damn, I can't afford this, just email me at buttercreamcorey@gmail.com. I'll work with you. I'll do it pro bono if you're broke and you whatever. So just holler at your boy and stay fancy, motherfuckers. Skew. Here's Lydia Lovelace.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Royalty and rednecks are alike. They both like cutting and picking fights. Biscuits and baked beans where they don't belong. Sit on down with Corey and Trae and learn some fancy shit today. We'll laugh a little even when they're wrong. They'll take you to a magical place where if you call someone a cunt, nobody cares. They keep it debonair at putting on airs, putting on airs, putting on